This episode talks about domestic violence and guns. Listener discretion is advised. If those topics are triggering for you, please take care of yourself. Pause, skip, come back later, or not at all. 1 minute, you're the devil, and the next minute, you're mom of the year.
He's a whip.
And you're getting the lash. You're going to talk about weapons. I'm going to talk about you as a mom and how crappy you are.
And he yelled, "Shut the fuck up" at me so loud that neighbors came out.
And they handed him back all of his weapons and assault rifles.
Happens in a 7th grade cafeteria.
This is my life. This is very serious.
Surprise to me.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Like, not a party. I'm JeniLynn.
And I'm Jen.
And we're in high conflict hell.
If you know, you know, and I'm sorry that you know. But let's make sure you're in the right place.
You're in the right place.
You're in the right place.
If when you hear the word weaponized parenting, you don't automatically think of the dynamic between a parent and a child, but instead you think of parenting between two people.
You're in the right place if, not everybody, I hope, but if weapons at the other parent's home frighten you a little bit.
Well, and you're in the right place if you can't just bring up weapons in the other parent's home without it being taken and weaponized against you. Right?
Hope you're not. But it is for many of you.
And unfortunately, it is for me.
Yeah.
And it is for you. This is a light episode.
It's light.
This is not going to be intense at all.
Yeah.
So, welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks, everyone, for supporting us, because it does feel very supportive when I have felt historically isolated during this process. And that's a huge, huge change for me.
Me too.
And if you can hit the follow button up at the top, it would actually really help us.
Because I have you and I have a lot of support, but no one else gets it. So these are people that can get it.
Well, and you're right. You're really lucky you have me.
I have. We mentioned it in a past episode that we really wanted to talk about whiplash parenting.
Right.
Which is
what you're experiencing right now in full effect.
Well, and so we talk about whiplash a lot, and we talked a bit about how the term whiplash parenting is used, but it's different, the dynamic than what we're talking about. What is the dynamic that you've been finding?
According to Professor Google, it's parenting towards children, whiplash parenting. So if 1 minute to your kid, you don't care how much screen time they get, and then the next you're freaking out and taking the iPad away over their screen time. That kid is experiencing whiplash parenting. They don't know which version of the parent they're going to get.
Yeah.
We use that term whiplash parenting with parenting between the two people.
Stop trying to fetch a thing.
What? Fetch?
We're going to make whiplash co-parenting a term because I think that it is actually really relevant in people experiences at a high frequency.
Well, the actual definition of whiplash, isn't it when you experience extreme motion back and forth that then causes damage or something? That's from the top of my head.
Whiplash definition. Jerk or jolt someone or something suddenly, typically so as to cause injury, or the flexible part of a whip or something resembling it. I feel like I am a whip right now. No, he's a whip.
And you're getting the lash. 1 minute, you're the devil.
Yeah.
And the next minute, you're mom of the year.
2 a.m. drunk talks with a friend of mine that I'm the best thing in the entire world.
So wait, he said that recently?
Yeah.
During all of this?
Yeah. What was brought to me is she asked him, why are you accusing her of being an alcoholic? And he goes, I'm not.
You're not an alcoholic.
She drinks less than I do, is what I was told he said.
Yeah, because
I hardly drink.
You rarely drink. But it is a serious accusation when you're going through a high conflict parenting issue.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get information out of people. I don't want to know what's being said about me. They want to share. I'm listening.
What's that?
Yeah.
I am generally curious. Is this something that he actually thinks, or these accusations aren't that serious to him? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do think it's helpful to receive that information from mutual friends.
Yeah.
To get to gauge.
Right.
You start to question your own reality.
Yeah.
Like,
are you actually doing the right thing? Am I actually a bad parent and I'm completely blind to it? Now, logically, I think I'm a very good parent because
I know you're a very good parent.
But I used to hear him talk about me nicely to people.
Yeah. Ever had a bad word to say about you.
Right. And that's flipped since then. And it depends on who he's talking to.
So the interesting thing about the story is that what was a amicable co-parenting relationship is now you running all over him.
Right.
And I spent tons of time with him, with you,
Yeah.
and not with you with the kids or whatever in my backyard.
Yeah.
And I never heard that from him. What was Jen's a great mom has now turned into Jen runs all over me. And well, when it was convenient for you, it was co-parenting. And now that it's not convenient for you, she's a manipulator, she's a liar, she runs all over me. This is the first time hearing this from you.
Right.
Like,
It's also a surprise to me.
surprise.
Yeah.
Like, not a party.
Yeah. And, I took a new job at work and he had been saying he wanted to see the kids more. And so I offered him, if you want to be the person that comes and stays at the house with the kids, I would love for that to happen.
Okay.
And so he did for a long time. So
We come and stay at your house while you traveled for work.
a year ago was the last time that this happened.
Gosh.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
A year ago, he was staying at your house.
Yeah.
And now
Now he can't come in.
Because.
Even ahead of the accusations, there was him yelling at me. So I had to stop. My fence was his limit.
What was he yelling at you about?
There was a time maybe 8 or 9 months ago where he came and I tried to talk to him about their oldest daughter. And he turned his back to me, crossed his arms, and I was like, we can talk. We're adults. I want you to have a relationship with her. And he yelled, shut the fuck up at me so loud that neighbors came out of the house to check on me.
When that happened, Steve came in and he was like, because he was back in our bedroom where that's the closest to your front yard. And he's like, he's screaming at her.
Yeah.
And I was like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And both him and I went out there. I was like, I'm not letting this turn into him screaming at her in the middle of the neighborhood, which is also a dangerous place to be. Because, I mean, not for me. I'm like, I'll fucking run a burning building to get you. But dangerous, and like, you don't want someone to call the police on you guys.
Yeah.
You don't want to be at the school known as the people who are screaming in the street.
Our kids don't need to know us as that.
How is that good for the kids? That the community, the teachers, the parents. We had, when I was a kid, there was a couple on the corner and our houses were kitty corner and we could hear them screaming and yelling at each other.
Yeah.
And I was friends with the girl all through elementary school. I was allowed at her house for short periods of time. Mm-hmm. I was not allowed to sleep over at that house.
Right.
And I can remember she just been asking me to spend the night. In my naiveness as a kid, I said, we can hear your parents screaming and fighting from our house. I can't. My mom won't let me.
Right.
And as an adult now, as a kid to hear that, that sucks.
Yeah. And you understand that it's scary, but the seriousness of it.
I did not get that.
Yeah. And
hurtful that is.
I lived in the DV house. I'm from a smaller town. Everybody knows everybody. And a lot of people were not allowed at my house. Most people weren't even allowed to hang out with me. And I was very shy and I was sweet and I was really quiet. A lot of people thought that I was a sneaky kind of kid. And I wasn't until later, but it is hard to be that home. And so that wasn't that girl's first time knowing why you couldn't spend the night. I think she probably just wanted that validation and understanding. Like, is this?
Oh, you think?
Oh yeah. You don't not know.
Oh, in my head for the last 30 years, I was the person that was delivering the news that everyone could hear and that everyone knew. Mm-hmm. And that feels shitty as an adult. She knew.
Okay.
Well, I'm still sorry.
Yeah. I had a couple of people that would make sure that I was always allowed at their house, but they knew my parents and they would comment on it sometimes, but they would make sure that I knew I was always welcomed and always safe there. But that doesn't feel less bad.
Yeah.
You're just always responsible for adult activity and adult relationships in a strange way. So that is what it is. And I want to know about whiplash with you.
It's still a thing.
Yeah.
And I try not to respond because we only communicate through our family wizard, like the supposedly monitored app.
Right.
Let me be clear, no one actually monitors it.
But if you want to sponsor us, we love your product.
Yeah, we do. That's the only way I use to communicate. But there's like this facade out there that it's monitored by this is a digital footprint behind the scenes. It makes it really easy to export communication into a PDF that then you can deliver to the court. But there's no court officer being like, he called her an asshole this week and a dumbass, and the limit is 3. And now, whoops, but that's not happening. And so
He's not getting put on the naughty list after 3 times
No.
calling you unfit or, any number of things.
There is a naughty list, but that's from
We're past Christmas.
That's my personal list. So even though that's our only method of communication, the shit that goes down in there is, and keep in mind, we have a 50-50 schedule, and that's our only method of communication.
Yeah.
Someone can't call another person. They can't. It doesn't go well.
Right.
There's no communication there. There can't be communication there because it's toxic and harmful and spirals very quickly out of control. So this is the safest mechanism of communication, and it's through an app.
Right.
And that's where your kids are half the time.
Because there's the function of accountability in it when there's not on a phone call.
Oh, well, yeah. But I mean, I just mean like, if my kids were at your house half the time, I'd be on the phone being like, hey, they forgot this. Or not, all of that is removed. None of that happens. So I try not to respond as much as possible. There are some times where I engage.
Right.
And I shouldn't. And I know
It's
I
hard
shouldn't.
not to.
But this is how it has evolved to happen, though, that it's only supposed to be communication about the kids, right? So an issue will come about the kids, specifically, an event at their school, something. And in the response about the issue with the kids, other stuff starts getting thrown in. And that's where then I'm in a position where I'm responding about whatever kid's happening.
Yeah.
And I throw in then, like, and stop, or and don't come up behind me.
And go see a therapist.
Right. Well, that became my response when I engaged a month and a half ago now over OFW. There was an event happening at my kid's school.
Okay.
It was my day. I'm the person who does all the school stuff. And I do all the school applications, all the school financial aid. I do all the school stuff. Like, for whatever reason, I care about school a lot, and my ex-husband doesn't seem to care as much.
But not reading. He cares more about reading to the children at night.
Yeah. He
can handle everything else.
And that's what happens. He gets hung up on one thing that he does. Like, I read to the kids every night, and you don't. Oh, okay. I didn't know you were a specialized reading instructor, because we have a child that has a really hard time learning things a traditional way.
Right.
And didn't know you, the average student, was now in charge of teaching her to read. That's scary, number one. Like that, no. But when I went and hired someone from Hamlin Robinson to tutor her, it's like a school that specializes in kids who have issues learning. You're not paying for it. You're not showing up to the appointments.
Right. Why would I have to?
There's no real support there.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a keyboard warrior, that's going to be it.
Does he ever show up at the school? Is it like, does it go ebb and flow? Like, what does that look like?
I mean, does he volunteer in the classroom? No. Does he go on field trips? No. Is he there for pickup? Yes. I would say there has been a few times where he hasn't, and that has turned into massive issues. But he's not bringing the lunchbox that's forgotten.
Yeah.
That was a big thing for my oldest for a few years, is that he would forget his lunch and he'd just have no lunch for the day. And I get that to a certain point you want to teach your kid to
that executive function
of remembering your lunch. Also, when you're dealing with a 13-year-old boy at the time, I mean...
Yeah. I have a habitual lunch forgetter in my house.
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, there was an event at my child's school. And she'd asked me to go. And then she'd also asked her dad to go. And I was like, if your dad's going to go, just have him go. Like,
that's great.
There has been an issue with the school that he has made comments directly to me that she doesn't need this school, that this school is not a fit for her for X, Y, and Z reasons.
They don't just accept kids for no reason.
No.
Though.
No. And so I've been really like, you should go check this school out. You need to see what this... And at some point he did. And so when I heard that she'd invited him and he was also going to come, I'm like, hey, let him see. It was a reading lesson specifically.
Yeah.
And so on the way to school, comes out, he's actually not going to make it. So now no one's going because he had committed to going. And then I had made plans when I heard that he was going. And so it started off with him sending me a message about the school and basically saying our daughter shouldn't even be at this school. That's how I take this. I'm going to read it in full so that you tell me how you take it. Hi, JeniLynn. Middle child was never diagnosed by an educational psychologist. I thought and still think she should be. Obviously, she has some learning disabilities, but we don't know what they are. Why are you angry with me? I'd like to know so maybe I could address them. I asked you the other day to explain your message, and you didn't. Why not? Pointing fingers and making accusations without explaining yourself doesn't help. That was the first message I got that morning.
Okay.
And I respond and I say, middle child is expecting you at a writing clinic. Why aren't you there? You call me names, respond to messages about the kids with attacks on my parenting, coaching, or both. You need to get some individual therapy to address your behavior. It's sad how it affects the children. However, you are no longer my problem. Don't come up behind me. It scares the kids. Stay away from me.
Let's get to it.
Then he responds to me and says, I don't call you names at all.
Yeah.
When and with who? Was I doing that? What names? I don't have anything bad to say about you. What do I say about your parenting or coaching? I actually think you're pretty good at them. Yes, that's a compliment. Why would me coming up to say bye to the kids scare them? Or you, for that matter? What was said to make them feel that way? Nothing by me, ? Middle child asked me not to come. I didn't want her to stress about it. Who wins in this situation? It was a very stressful and emotionally charged time in our lives. I'm guessing he's talking about the divorce, but I actually don't know.
Yeah.
We both said or did things we shouldn't have. In retrospect, I would have done many things differently, but unfortunately, there's no going back. I apologize for anything that I have said or my actions that hurt you. Really, I'm sorry and wish nothing but the best for you. I'm able to forgive and move past. Are you? I respond and I say, just this week, you called me a bully and a liar, mocked me with LOLs, and responded to a message about our youngest being sick with instructions to me about the girls' soccer team, how out of shape they are, and how I should make them run. At our middle daughter's graduation in front of the kids, you physically came at people in our family. The children were and are still scared. I don't need your forgiveness. The children need your behavior to change, and I truly believe that only with professional help will you change, as you clearly don't understand your actions, your words, and how they affect others. And no amount of me explaining it will help. I once again suggest you seek individual therapy to really explore why you consistently engage in this behavior, then deny, poke, and reinstigate. Our child is now by herself at a parent-student event because you didn't show up. So, of course, I get a novel back.
Yeah.
And, middle child told me you were going and you weren't at the graduation. I was just trying to talk to your family. I really like them. I have nothing but respect for them. I most definitely wasn't trying to come at them in a physical way. Someone in your family was waving their arms. I was the one who stopped and said, this is what's affecting the kids. He's the hero.
Yep.
I disengaged when I realized there was going to be no constructive conversation. Telling me I have to immediately do something isn't trying to bully me. He was talking about me telling him to get some medicine for a kid who was really sick.
She was very sick.
And she needed calamine lotion, which people don't have on hand.
Yeah. The response to that message was, you need to make the soccer team that you coach, JeniLynn, do more conditioning. Other teams are running laps around them.
Yeah.
Talking about 11-year-old little girls and their physical fitness and the way that they look.
I took it about their weight. And girls are going through puberty. And I was pissed when I read it.
Be.
As a woman, I'm sorry, 52-year-old man, do not comment on their conditioning, quote unquote. And this is coming from a man who writes our daughter's weight on the wall.
Yeah.
So even if it's not ill-intended, it is damaging.
Writes it on the wall as one would maintain someone's height to have.
Yeah, he writes their
years.
height and their weight on the wall. And I think it stopped because my middle daughter had an issue with it. And we talked about that approach and how to talk to him about how harmful this is. And even if it's not ill-intended, the result is still harmful. And this is the hard part about being in this 50-50 situation is you are then making a lot of day-to-day decisions as a man, a white man who doesn't have any female around or present to enlighten
hey, let's think about that.
you. Yes, about how things that you probably haven't thought of as a man to a growing girl.
Weight is really hard to think about, talk about. It's already a topic.
Like, don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't do this. And I'm not in a position where I, as mom, woman in the picture, can send a message that says, if I wrote that message, it would come flying at me 1,000 miles an hour, that I was trying to manipulate a situation that was harmless. He's not doing anything wrong. I was called a bully for telling him to go and get some calamine lotion for his house.
Yeah.
So I'll continue with the message. It says, telling me I have to immediately do something isn't trying to bully me. I was only trying to help the team. Some games, the other teams run circles around them. I wasn't trying to be mean or make a comment about your coaching. I was just trying to say something that no other parent would tell you. Just like I said, I think you and Steven do a good job at it. How are any of these actions affecting the children? They are all between you and I. At this point, only one of us is angry and can't let go of the past. Seriously, what are you mad about? I'm over you saying horrible things about me and betraying my trust. It's all in the past and it doesn't help to carry it forward. So I responded and I said, you should bring all these issues to a therapist. The way you project and make excuses is not healthy for our children and their firsthand experiences of your words and behavior. I wish nothing but the best for you as you try to navigate your life, and I hope you do learn to navigate it for the sake of the kids. I get a response, I feel like you're the one who projects. What firsthand experiences are you talking about? Please elaborate. That was it. I was done.
You just go into this abyss.
This is the toxic dynamic, the toxic relationship I am trying so hard to move away from. This was what my day-to-day marriage was like. And it's harmful, it's hurtful, it destroys your confidence, it makes you question your own reality. I'm not looking to, even for a moment, get back to that place. But the whiplash parenting part of that, which starts, I feel like, as an issue about what's going on at our child's school that maybe we can both get on the same page about. And when the personal stuff is put in there, it gets so convoluted so quickly. And 1 minute he's saying, I forgive you. I want to co-parent with you. Why can't we co-parent? And I'll respond. And his response back is a list of all the things he thinks I've done wrong and I should correct to be the proper co-parent. Yeah. Well, okay. Do you think that's whiplash parenting?
Yeah. And so let's go back a little bit because I don't think everybody knows this when you were sending middle kid to this specialty school. And is that they were not diagnosed by an educational psychologist. And so I was curious, is that like commonplace? And so my questions to you were about, because it's very, very expensive. So a lot of people bypass that. So the school have proper intake in place as a way to make sure that children of all backgrounds don't have to go through these very expensive testing to identify things.
Well, and my child has been through extensive testing.
Right. It's just not by that educational psychologist.
Not the public schools do their own assessments and they create their own plan based on their own assessments.
Yeah.
And when I was applying to this specialized school, it was an option to get your child tested through them. I think it was only $3,000 and not required. And I remember talking to admissions and she was like, no, it's not necessary at all.
Yeah.
And this has come up a few times between my middle daughter and I because it is something she hears at her dad's all the time.
Yeah. You don't have that.
You haven't been diagnosed with this.
But we all know she has it.
And this is the example I give my daughter. Say you were born in a country without adequate health care and you were born without an arm, but you've never seen a doctor. Do you have an arm?
You have an arm.
You still don't have an arm. You don't need to go to a doctor to tell you your arm's missing.
No.
She knows she doesn't have an arm. And the ironic part is ex-husband also doesn't have an arm. He always had issues learning up. So these issues aren't new to him.
So another version of whiplash that's thrown in there is that you know about his past experiences in school and education. So watching him now have that reaction to his own child, it's instead being weaponized against you. And
I'm just going to say, if you think our daughter should have an assessment by an educational psychologist,
do it.
Go get it.
Yeah.
Go do it. I'm not stopping you. You have the money, you have the resources, and the fact that you won't choose then to allocate your personal resources to that, yet it is a huge issue for you,
because it's just being used as a weapon, which it makes me, one of the things you said in the messages that you were reading is, why would it scare you, or the kids for that matter, that I've come up behind you? And so I was there for this, it's at a soccer game, and JeniLynn's ex-husband comes up behind them. And it is very scary because there has been domestic violence restraining orders.
Oh.
And so I think that that's an important part of this. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So the incident, though, ironically, that is scaring my youngest daughter
It's not that.
It's not that.
Right.
It's not that. And that's heartbreaking. The incident that is creating this recent reaction was in the spring at my middle daughter's graduation. And I was not there. I was on a cruise with my boyfriend's family.
Yeah.
And my parents were there. And my ex-husband's mom was there. And all my kids were there. But I was not there. And apparently all hell broke loose. And the message and the stories that I received from everybody, luckily my middle daughter, whose graduation was off with her friends, but my youngest daughter, who was 8 at the time, was standing there. And my oldest son, who was 14 at the time, was standing there, and my parents. And some discussion happened between my ex-mother-in-law and my mother. And it had to do with my middle daughter's specialized school.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And my ex-husband didn't pay for my older son's private school at all, not a dime. And they have the money. Let me be clear.
Yes.
And I asked, he refused. He refused to sign the financial paperwork. He refused to pay. And that to me is his mom's refusing to pay for it, because his mom is the one who has sponsored this entire child custody dispute.
Yeah.
She paid for all the lawyers. She bought him a house that's now probably worth close to $1 million, half a mile from me after he left, which, wow. Thank you for that support, number one. That could have been really, really helpful while we were married. But now that we're splitting up, thank you for sponsoring his fall apart, his lack of being a father or a husband or a partner. Thank you for supporting that. Got it. So when the discussion happened between my mother and my ex-mother-in-law about my middle child's school, my mom asked if they were going to help pay for it. And she said, he already did. He's paid for it. And she said, no, he hasn't. She said, oh, yes, he has. She's like, no, JeniLynn's paid for it completely so far.
Absolutely.
And she adamant, nope, he's paid for it. He's paid for it. Well, why? I think because she's given the money for it.
And it's not made it.
It has not made it to me. Well, to
Or
me,
you.
because the tuition had already been due for the year.
Yeah.
And so I paid it. And whatever happened, my mom has said, you're going to defend your son and I'm going to defend my daughter.
Yeah.
And we're not going to do this here. And my mom said to her, don't ever speak to me again.
Right.
Is the message that I got. Like,
That's a reasonable thing to say.
and they're not like they're close. This is the first time they've seen each other since our wedding 20
my gosh,
years ago.
really?
Yes. And she came up to my mom a few times because we had 2 kids' graduations. We had my older son's 8th grade graduation and my middle daughter's 5th grade graduation. So she came out for both those things. And she told my mom that she thought for the grandkids that they should show that they can get along, which I also think is a strange statement, because this is the first time you're seeing each other in 20 years. If anyone needs to get along, it's me and your son, number one.
Yeah.
And
the parents
secondary
of the
to
children.
that, grandma, when me and my ex-husband split up, I sent a text message to her that was, this is not going down a good path. And we're not together and he's really struggling. And I think that he could really use the family support. This is heartbreaking. And I never got a response. That was the last message that I ever sent. And I was with her son for 15 years and I wasn't even good enough for a response. So hurtful.
Not a thank you for caring.
No,
I
nothing.
got this.
But my kids were little when we split. My youngest was barely 2.
Right.
And so if you want to have a good showing, honestly, I'm the mother of these 3 grandkids, your only grandkids. And if you don't want to have a relationship with me, I respect that.
That's fine.
But you forming some kind of once in a 20-year relationship with my mother is not going to do anything for our children. Our children are living through a disaster zone.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Daily.
My mom said, don't ever speak to me again. She walked away and I'm guessing went to my ex-husband, because my ex-husband then came up to my mom, my family, And that's when the meltdown happened. Like I said, I wasn't there, but apparently my ex-husband was being very physically aggressive towards multiple members of my family.
Yeah.
My youngest daughter, my mom said, was shaking violently.
That lasted for days.
She was shaking violently.
She was very...
She was scared. And they were at a school. And it doesn't surprise me, is all I'm going to say. I got a slew of messages from my ex-husband how this was all my fault. I was in literally the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
And so that's the incident that recently scared her. That has nothing to do with the years and years of threats towards me personally.
Yeah.
Around our split.
Yeah.
That was a whole separate thing that's happened. Now, he likes to call the police on me. He likes to tell the kids, see what your mom makes me do. You see the position your mom puts me in? Now I have to call the police. And what's the goal there? Do you want me thrown in jail? And I'm not talking like this happened 6 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
In the spring, he told my middle daughter he was going to call the police on me. A month ago, he was down the street from my house telling both my middle and my youngest daughter that he was going to come rip my son out of my house. Just the amount of pure aggression around these things is not healthy for anyone. It's not healthy for the kids. And this is the hard part, is the court really isolates those things when they were looking at real things that happened, real things that he admitted or he wrote down. Not only with the burning the house down or the I'm going to come at you with both barrels, but I'm going to come beat people up at your house. I'm going to go up to Steve's. I'm going to beat him up. I'm going to sit in your driveway and record whoever's coming in and out. I've hired a private investigator on you and your so-called boyfriend. And this is all in front of the kids.
Right.
So those are the things he has said, or he did say during pickups and drop-offs when this all first started happening. The court took that as not being directed at them, but directed at me and not relevant then to their parenting plan in a 50-50 split. And so now I'm seeing these things. Okay, even if they're still being directed at me, well, I wasn't there, so that couldn't have been directed at me. When someone has no regard for whether or not children are there or children aren't there, these are things we know about life, how domestic violence affects kids. You witnessed it firsthand, Jen, firsthand.
Yep.
And all of these things are suddenly non-existent all of a sudden in the family court system.
Yep.
And I understand the need to protect women. That's my number one goal. It's the whole reason why I'm sitting here doing this, is to bring awareness to what's happening. I don't think that this is sustainable.
No.
You know why? Because our kids are going to grow up and they're going to be the next lawyers and the next judges.
Oh, yeah.
I hope my kids are smarter than us. I hope that they figure out how to navigate this better than us.
Yes.
Because this is also not good for the kids. This is not what's best for them. This is not in their best interest.
Yeah.
And I also had attorneys tell me that if I was going to bring up the physical, well, I did bring it up, but to be careful how I brought it up, because if it didn't work, I could lose my kids.
Yeah.
And they would accuse me of parent alienation. And I would then not have 50-50 to the kids.
Right.
And that is risky. So if you're going to get up there, so if you're going to get up there and say that this is really affecting the kids and the kids saw this and the kids this and the kids that, and then all of a sudden they decide that you're not credible, they don't believe you, which during my 3-day trial on my custody, on my parenting plan, and I also had a request to move the kids out of school district during that trial, all of this stuff came up. And so my ex-husband wrote to me, or he said it to me on the phone. He screamed it to me on the phone that he was going to come at me with a double-barrel shotgun.
Yeah.
And he says he screamed at me that he was going to only come at me with both barrels. And
to me, the difference.
Right? And still, that's not even why he had the domestic violence restraining order. I was that woman. I was the woman that didn't call the police. I was the woman I kept waiting for him to calm down.
Right.
And
I can get him through this. He doesn't mean these things.
How freaking humiliating at this point in my life. No, like seriously.
Yeah.
I'm that woman.
Yeah.
Like I'm that woman.
We've all, too many of us have been that woman.
And oh my God, I actually don't want to cry.
I do.
It's because it's not worth it.
The viewers will like it.
Stop it.
Sorry.
And so when the actual restraining order happened, when I went to go pick up my kids in his driveway, because this is when these things would routinely happen then. He would be waiting in the driveway for me. He'd meet me out of the car. And on this one night, he was waiting in the driveway at a pickup. I didn't know it at the time, but he was recording me. Because so no matter what, you're standing in a driveway waiting for someone and recording them.
Yeah.
This is the mom of your kids.
Yeah.
That you're
There's
doing this
intention
to.
to create a space for reaction.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm predictable. Poke, poke, poke.
Yeah.
React. And that's what happened.
And let me paint a really quick picture. She's tiny. JeniLynn, tiny. Sorry. She's hot bod. Ex-husband, big.
He's over 6 foot. I'm 5'2". Yes, there is a definite physical disparity there as well. He meets me at the car and he brings up a very intense tax situation. He brings up a very intense business that we still own together. And from my recollection, I'm just saying, give me the kids. The kids keep trying to come out. He's screaming at the kids to go back in the house. It ends with him calling my car a rental and slamming his hand on the top of my hood. And I called my attorney and I was like, I'm leaving. I looked at rentals like down near my parents. I put in applications. I was like, I can't do this. I need to go. And
This is unsafe.
This is unsafe. I don't like, and on the advice of my attorney, she said, you can't take the kids. You'll be accused of trying to manipulate the court system.
Right.
And like fleeing, basically.
Yeah.
And so I stayed and filed a restraining order, and 3 judges heard that restraining order. And it was interesting, though, because we had the initial judge who put it in, the commissioner who put it in for a year, and then the judge who he appealed it to. And during that hearing is when she said something to the effect of, well, it was just this one incident, but there's clearly a documented history here of really serious threats.
Yep.
And that's disturbing to me. So wait, you go ahead and wait for someone in their driveway and in a domestic situation. And so after they put a restraining order in, and as part of that, then they remove any weapons.
Yeah.
And they remove any weapons. And they had an advocate call me from court first to ask me if I knew of any weapons he had. And I was like, no, he doesn't have any weapons. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, he doesn't have any weapons. We've lived together for the past 10 years. We don't have any weapons.
Yeah.
And after they confiscated 5 firearms, she called me back. And she said, and I'm sure it's probably part of their whole process. And she said, just so you know, we did confiscate 5 weapons, including an AR-15 and a shotgun from your ex-husband. And I was shocked.
Right.
I was shocked. And so...
because they confiscated 5 firearms from someone that you have been told by that he will come at you with both barrels.
Right?
And
right?
you didn't think that, you thought he was just threatening you with his words, but he actually had purchased these things.
Yeah. Yeah. Scary, especially with what we know about how these very deep, heated domestic issues can go.
Right.
Scary. So now we're in the court system about the kids and the custody. And the evaluator, when she's doing my interview, starts off with the phrase, I hear you've had a lot of drama going on. And I remember responding.
Drama happens in a 7th grade cafeteria.
Once again, we're not talking about, we had an argument about what color to paint the house.
Yeah.
In the street. Like, I don't consider that drama. And I remember saying this to her. I don't consider this drama. This is my life. This is very serious. And she very quickly backtracked and was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it sound like that. But then during the...
Yeah.
She did. She was a very young white woman.
Shouldn't know yet.
Hate to say that.
Learned.
Is that important? I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, to me, it felt important.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very privileged thing to say. Well, and it's that same concept, right, that we were talking about last episode, where this isn't just like a marital dispute. This isn't just drama.
Yeah.
This is someone threatening my freedom, my life, my safety.
It's not that I don't like your shoes.
Exactly. I'm not arguing
I have
about
5 firearms and I've told you I'm going to kill you.
Right. And so that was number one, very taken aback to me. I was surprised because I, as a woman, had not experienced the court. Very privileged, also very white, very privileged woman, have not experienced the court system in that way. And I was like, wow, the tone of this feels like I'm feeling defensive.
Yeah.
And so then when she got to the part where she was asking me about his serious threats of physical violence, the guns and the burning of the house down, she asked me, well, I remember because it was so off-catching to me in a tone that was like, well, did you really think he was going to come at you, though?
Yeah.
I mean, that is a figure of speech, isn't it? Like, I'm going to come at you with both barrels.
I don't think that's a figure of speech.
Well, I said to her, I was like, I actually don't think that's my job to delineate if I think he's serious or not. Then am I judging, is he serious when he's saying he's going to sit in my driveway and record me, that he's going to come to my house and beat someone up? And I listed off all of the things that he says to me or he was saying to me repeatedly.
Yeah.
And I said, so yeah, now when it comes to I'm going to come at you with both barrels, now I'm the judge and jury of my kid's safety and my own personal safety?
Yeah, like you need to write down with a piece of paper, like things ex-husband has said that I think might happen and things that I think don't happen.
And I'm going to put the most serious thing in the column of things that would never happen.
Yeah.
When I know what happens in the world. I read the news. I watch Dateline. You are more likely to, as a pregnant woman, and I think this is still true. I'll double check it. The number one cause of death of pregnant women in the U.S. is men.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
So we know all these things to be true, and then we get in front of someone who can be very charismatic, and they're telling you it's a figure of speech, and I was just joking, and you still believe them over me, mom of 3 kids, who's telling you I would not put myself through this if this wasn't serious. Do you think I want to be up on a stand
and you're
defending my parenting?
Yeah, you're regularly understanding more of the seriousness of this as time goes on. So you are now meeting with this woman after you learned about the 5 firearms that were confiscated.
And I learned about the 5 firearms, and I still didn't know the timeline until my trial. And during my trial, my attorney pointed out the timeline in a very succinct way, which then I got it.
Yeah.
And it was because she was doing the examination of the evaluator, and she asked the evaluator, she said, so in this case, he threatened her with guns on this, or he threatened to take her down with both barrels on this date. And then 2 weeks later, he went out and purchased or registered 5 firearms, including this. And the evaluator says, yes. She was like, do you think that there's a reason to be fearful of him? And she said, no. And my attorney said, no? She said, well,
I object.
In some situations,
Can I do that right now?
Right?
Okay.
In some situations, yeah, that would be a reason to be fearful, but not in this one.
On
Like,
the
no.
basis
You're actually
of
saying that you just think that
he smiled at me.
Well, okay, that's not interesting that you take it as him being charismatic. I take it as me not being of value.
Oh, you're reactive. She's dramatic.
I'm dramatic. I'm reactive. And even if someone is saying to me over and over and over, your freedom and your safety mean nothing to me. Now I'm having like a court. And don't get me wrong, people have this so much worse. What I am experiencing is nothing when it comes to people not believing people being wrongly accused, people throwing people in jail for years and years and years. Like, as a woman and as a person, it was crushing to me.
It should be crushing. 100% is crushing.
Well, I thought we were, as a society, we were in a different place. And as I'm looking at this other white woman say, and this other white woman judge say, and me sitting up there saying, I'm still, it doesn't matter. Us 3 women up here are still, the white man on the other side.
We trust him. He's not that bad.
But he, in every essence, is more credible than me. That me being a lawyer was me manipulating the system, me using the system. And because I had filed a judicial complaint against the judge in my case, we went to law school together. We were in the same section, in the same class.
Right.
She had dropped an F-bomb during my hearing.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. And made some other biased statements.
Right.
And I was like, holy crap.
But this was used against you. And,
it was used
brought
against
up
me.
later.
And I ended up taking my case to the Court of Appeals, where my attorney was ripped a new one too for me filing a judicial complaint. But also, how are we all not holding ourselves to a higher standard?
Yeah.
She dropped an F-bomb during my hearing. And I'm not saying she was like, fuck you, but she was like, I've seen some fucked up things that happen in cases.
Yeah.
And this is starting to look like one, or something to that effect. And I was like, how are you sitting up here like we're at a bar talking?
Right.
And these are my kids.
Right.
Do you know what I've been living through? It felt so incredibly demeaning as the person
it wasn't
on
a
the
football
other
game
side.
with a fumble.
Yeah, these are my
Children.
kids. These are my kids.
Oh my
so
goodness.
I lost, and then I lost again.
Loser.
Right. And the domestic violence restraining order was ending right at the end of the trial.
Okay.
And we hadn't put in a motion to extend. My attorney was like, she'll just do it.
Right.
And she didn't. It doesn't matter. It's neither here nor there. When you're dealing with a trial like that, my primary concern was being able to move with my kids,
Yes.
to get a plan that worked. Neither one of those things happened. So ironically, my personal safety was an afterthought
Yeah.
to those two things. And his attorney asked me about the guns and was like, do you want them? And I was like, no, I don't want them. Well, if you don't want them, then he's the only person who can get them back because he's getting them back. And I was like, no. He's like, well, what do you think should happen to them? And I was like, I think the sheriff should keep them.
Yeah.
I think that during this kind of high conflict, someone having that kind of access to assault rifles is probably not the best for the kids.
There's a restraining
Not
order.
even for me, for the children. Also, number one cause of death in America for kids, guns.
Yeah.
I read something from the National Library of Medicine, actually. Firearms overtook auto accidents as the leading cause of death in children in 2020. So it's more dangerous for my kid to go somewhere where there are firearms than for the car ride over there,
Yeah. And there is,
where they're at 50% of the time.
yeah.
So they handed him back all of his weapons and assault rifles. And so now, as the parent, I want to make sure my kids know,
Yeah.
if you find a gun anywhere, including your dad's house, do not touch it.
Yeah.
Guns are dangerous. Guns aren't safe.
Accidents
happen. And that's just the reality. And then I get what do you mean, including at dad's house? Yeah, including at your dad's house.
And then you get why would anybody be scared for me to come stand over you?
Right?
How
am I supposed to protect my children from real danger while simultaneously protecting their emotional well-being from this conflict, this DV, which feels, I don't know, it feels big to me, and I don't like it.
Well, and that's the problem. That's why a lot of people don't take their own issues seriously, is because they don't want to feel like the victim.
Well, and because it was said to me as well.
Yeah.
How scared were you really?
Yeah. I don't know. On a pain level from 1 to 5.
Well, you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You didn't leave.
Yeah.
You didn't call the police. How scared were you really?
Right.
And I was like, oh, you're right. I'm actually just a stupid freaking woman who's in a cycle of abuse where they don't want to get their partner in trouble.
Yeah.
They don't want them to lose their business. It's like a state-held license for his business. I don't want anyone to lose their business license.
Right.
Because
you want him to be able to support his children.
Yeah, I'd love for some financial help or contribution to the kids' lives. And so now I'm the woman who's not reporting, who is defending, who is making excuses for why I didn't, who is now painted to be as not credible and not reliable, because if you were actually scared, this is what you should have done. And when you didn't, now we're going to say you don't have a reason to be actually scared. And here, we'll just hand him back everything. So
I've got some whiplash around this stuff too. That's pretty recent.
Really?
So I have shared with some people around me the things that are going on because I'm nervous and I'm scared. I'm living in this constant fight or flight. A few months ago, when a really popular case in Washington state happened, with a man went to pick up his children for a residential time, he strangled them to death. So I started getting text messages from friends that were kind of aware of what's going on saying, are you scared? Not that I think that
because it's so heated.
Yeah. So my oldest child says something about one of his firearms and that he keeps it with him in the back of his car. And that,
is it locked?
No. And that sometimes...
Is it separated from his ammo?
Exactly the point. And they've been out with him shooting while he's been drinking. And we've gotten into fights over this before.
Not every case where kids are murdered by guns is intentional.
Yeah.
It is a huge rate of accident.
Yeah.
Huge rate.
And the chance for my children, statistically, I think is pretty high for one of them to accidentally shoot the other one. Like
Yeah. We're statisticians.
No, I know. You're a mathematician. I'm a statistician.
I'm looking exciting.
We'll put that in the notes. So I go to him directly. Hey, I wanted to check with you because oldest child has told me that you keep one of your guns in the car with you. And I am just hoping to confirm that your guns are stored safely. And he was so mad. He was,
no, I'm not
won't
telling you.
Okay, if you can't just confirm to me that your firearms are taken care of safely, I have no choice but to reach out to your lawyer to check on this.
Okay, and his response.
Oh, his response.
Daddy's response.
No,
we call him Daddy.
We should. That's going to trigger some people, but it's actually funny.
It's going to trigger some people? Why?
Because sometimes people are really into daddy. It really grosses them out. So like it really grosses me out, but not in this way.
Let's be clear. Like,
where do you stand, actually?
I call Steve stepdaddy.
Stepdaddy. Okay.
Ew, that was gross. I grossed myself out.
You grossed me out too.
And that's not actually a thing that we do. Just, Mom, it's not actually a thing that we do.
Okay. Okay, very serious now. Your emails continue to make false and inflammatory allegations without any evidence. They are denied, and we believe the children are not making these statements whatsoever. Ex-husband complies with all mandatory firearm safety and is a respected and accomplished member of a specific occupation. It is very disturbing you continue to make these types of alarming allegations with no evidence to support them. I remain very concerned you are making increasingly retaliatory false allegations to distract from the very real problems in your household with the children and your continued highly inappropriate behavior with the children. Moving forward, if you have concerns about ex-husband's household, then you should bring them to court, not email me false allegations that waste all of our time. Sincerely, Daddy. So fast forward, there is an event that I go to every year. It is in support of a domestic violence organization that I sat on the board for many years. It's a chili cook-off. He has taken the kids every year. I assumed he would not come.
To watch you shine.
Yeah, and he comes.
Yeah, of course.
Which is fine. So
Okay.
I go sit down at a table and he comes and sits down next to me. And I was like, right now is a good time to talk to him. So I say, I want you to know that the text message that I sent you and the email that I sent to your lawyer were genuine. I want to make sure that we are providing safe environments for our kids. And I know that you have many firearms. I just want to make sure that they're safe. I have confirmed from other people that when your firearms were taken out of the last place that you lived, they were kept in a Coparenting fanny pack.
Right.
So we sit there and talk and he goes, hey, I'm so sorry. I thought you were trying to get me in trouble. I'm going to send you a picture of my gun safe. I said, oh, great. That's all. I mean,
Can we just all confirm we're on the same page?
Yeah.
One way or another.
hey,
That
the kids are safe. I would never do something. So the whiplash part of that is where he's being really mean and now his lawyer is being an absolute demon to me in that
Right.
response over something that I'm genuinely concerned about. And he was able to sit there with me. He actually apologized to me for the
Yeah.
way that I responded to that. So not only is this weapons, but it's whiplash and very serious things that just continue to happen and continue to be a hot topic in the world.
And can I just highlight from this email?
Yeah.
Because he can take his client's side. He can say that your emails are making false inflammatory allegations without any evidence, blah, 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 blah. The part that really gets me is when he says, I remain very concerned you are making increasingly retaliatory false allegations to distract from the very real problems in your household with the children and your continued highly inappropriate behavior with the children.
Right.
I'm sorry. This is so next level
Yeah.
to me that like you didn't email him something that said, I think that my ex-husband's home is unsafe and I'm stopping visits
Yeah.
now with them because that's what the court would expect you to do if you
Right.
really thought that the kids had access or something happened. But ironically, I think that just you stopping visits and saying he has guns around and my kids are saying that, the courts would hold you in contempt.
Right,
Because
right.
as we have found out since, unless something happens, the police don't do anything.
Right.
Just, I was curious, frankly, like,
What is this-
What is this laws around this?
Yeah.
Like, how does that
And
work?
no one will do anything unless something has already happened.
Yeah.
Or there is a confirmed threat, which the confirmed threat through the court.
Yeah. And this is why women,
Don't say anything.
this is why you don't say anything.
Yeah.
Because number one, you've said something about a real thing that we all know in society happens.
Yeah.
You address it with the professional in the circumstance. And their response to you is, you're saying this because you're a bad mom, you're home suck. And the message here is, careful what you bring up.
Mm-hmm.
Careful what you bring up. Yeah, you're going to talk about my client's storage of weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about you as a mom and how crappy you are.
And not that that's not hell enough, but I think we should talk about not the worst thing that happened to you this week.
Yes, not the worst thing that happened this week.
Do you know yours? I know mine.
Okay.
Not the worst thing that happened to JeniLynn this week is she called her friend fat.
Oh, stop.
You did it.
That's not funny.
It was the funniest thing. I've not laughed that hard in 6 months. I swear.
I would never. But this is the second time I've been accused of this.
You want to write my weight on the wall?
Right? I would never in a million years call a woman fat. Number
No,
one.
ever.
We would. My mom had brought back some pants. You tell the story.
So, okay, actually, I was so flattered.
I don't even want you to tell this story.
Oh my God, no, it is actually so funny. And I've never thought that you've judged my body or anything.
The opposite.
Ever.
I think you have a hot butt.
I know, and you tell me that all the time.
Giant boobs that I'm so jealous of. Okay. You lift, you're in shape, you ski, you run.
I can't even walk right now.
Okay, just saying. I'm obsessed with your body. You're beautiful. You're amazing. I love you.
Me into JeniLynn's mom brought back the sweetest gift. Far better than the Eat My Cookie jar.
They're called elephant pants, and they're from Thailand.
And then she got some for me and my kids, and it made me feel so happy to be included. And like most women, we struggle with our image of our body sometimes, and I'm currently in that struggling with the image of my body situation. And so she brings them, and everybody changes into them immediately. My kid that is here with us is super excited. And then one of JeniLynn's kids and my kid is like, Mom, go put those pants on right now. We're all matching. Why aren't you? And I just looked at them and thought,
you loser.
Yeah,
why aren't you going to be a part of the group? Peer pressure.
Yeah.
Go with the herd.
I looked at them and thought that like maybe they looked a little bit small. And you know, when you're feeling bloated because we're eating a big old dinner and you don't want to put on some pants that might be
change at someone's house. That was not the idea.
Well, no, but the kids really wanted me to.
Yeah.
And so
stupid kids making me look bad.
Yeah.
This is Steve's fault.
Steve. So they convinced me, go put it on. I try really hard not to make comments about my bodies in front of anybody's kids, especially girls.
Yeah, you're really good about that.
And so our two kids were like, go put them on. And I was like, I just don't think that I want to try right now. They look like they might be a little bit small for me.
You told the kids that?
Yeah. And I didn't mean it in any way. And JeniLynn's kid is the sweetest. She is a girl's girl. If you have met one, she looked at me and she was like, what do you mean? Of course those are going to fit you. Go put them on. You're not even big, especially compared to a lot of people. Yeah. It's like, yeah, girl. Okay, so I took myself.
She's a girl's girl.
Oh, she is. And I was so empowered in that moment. I went in there and I took off my pants and I put on those pants and they fit. And they fit like really well. They were not like too tight or anything.
They were cute on you. They were cute on everyone.
Yeah, so we were telling this story the other night at a friend's birthday. Yeah. And they are called elephant pants. And so I was, teasing about it because we're in front of a bunch of adults. And I was like, yeah, and I just didn't think I was going to fit into them. And JeniLynn goes, of course you were going to fit into them. Those are elephant pants.
I said they're not called elephant pants for no reason.
And I've never
just
laughed
immediately.
So hard.
As soon as I saw both of the women's reactions, I was like, I'm getting stupider by the day.
Thank you, JeniLynn's mom, for buying pants that are the size of an elephant.
No, I'm glad that you laughed, and you laughed so hard that you were like snorting.
I needed it.
I felt like a total asshole because I would never. But I'm thankful that we have that kind of relationship.
Oh my God,
where we can talk about like our bodies, our BO, our period. It doesn't matter. We're not.
Yeah.
You're not gonna come to me if I'm telling you, hey, I'm feeling really like PMSy and like a bitch. If we're talking and I say something that you don't like, which is rare, but it could happen. You're not like, is this because you're on your period? No offense, like some men might do.
Like some men might do.
Yeah,
my dad does that.
Men do it all the time.
Kills me. I lecture him every time.
Yeah, and I mean, and some women do it to other women too.
Oh yeah,
but we are not those kind. We don't have that kind of dynamic between the two of us.
No,
it's like we can joke about it, we can laugh about it.
No, it was so funny because you would never.
Well, I know, but it really does like hit me hard.
Yeah,
because I want you to talk about me when I'm not in the room, like you just talked about my daughter.
Yeah.
Like,
And I do. And that's true. And so here's the other thing about it is that people talking about body issues is that I know that something that you and your children experience is people commenting on your size all the time because you are smaller in stature. So it's always commented on. And it is really hard because it goes both ways. So you don't want to make comments about people because you know how it feels.
Yeah.
And people think that when you're small and you're skinny, that it's okay. It's okay to comment. Oh, and it is not okay to do. And I know you would never. That's a part of why it was so freaking funny to me. I still can't. I think about it when I'm crying over my breakup and I'm dying laughing. With my elephant pants.
Oh, once again, I'm sorry. This is my public apology.
I'm
I
sorry,
did not
and
mean
you're
it
welcome.
like that. There is no part of me at all. Like what I meant, can I just say what I meant too? Is I meant that they're just like stretchy, thin.
They are
pants that they're like, of course they're gonna fit. That's what they're, they're meant to fit
everybody.
Right? I know, like that, but
it was.
I'm gonna
so
stop
funny.
talking because I'm not making it any better.
No, actually,
that was the worst thing that happened to me this week. That was my week in hell. I accidentally made a comment that is being discussed to the world.
All of our listeners.
Wow. It's very optimistic of people who have heard this to accuse us of broadcasting stuff to the world.
We're working on it.
Hey.
Okay, so my not the worst thing that happened to me this week is that I was up for a really big job at work. And I know that we had a lot of internal candidates that were very qualified. And I got the call that I did not get the job. And that's okay. But it was bad. And still,
it's not okay.
The worst thing
that's happened. Yeah, I know, right?
It's actually number 3.
Because I know you were so qualified for this job too. Yeah. And it would have been such a good fit for you. No matter what, it's disappointing.
It's disappointing.
And
but also I'm not stuck on it because it's number 3.
Right.
It's number 3.
Okay, what was the worst thing that happened to you
this week in hell was my ex-husband's threats of suing me for defamation, followed by asking me if I could come pick up the kid that really misses me in the middle of the night again.
Right. Again.
Yeah. That's the whiplash.
That's like that. And I understand like being upset. Number 1, we don't even say his name.
No.
Not once.
No.
So the idea that like, and once again, like punish her.
Yeah.
Send her to jail. Fine her. Sue her.
Yeah.
You're not talking in abstract, but you're definitely not saying this person
everything.
Who works at this place.
Yeah.
Is this his birthday? Yeah. Go find him. No. Ridiculous.
Anybody. Okay. What's your this week in hell?
Well, we just covered it. The fact that I made a comment to my friend that she's still talking about and still bringing up about, my God, you 2 weeks in a row, you were the antagonist of my week.
Sorry.
It's okay. Well, that was it.
End this pony show.
Giddy up, girl.
See you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.
See you over the fence.
See you over the fence.